If my analysis is correct, Talkman's kidnapped and imprisoned everyone. You must rescue them forthwith. They're in trouble, make haste. Just wanted to quickly show off his dialogue there since we rescued him in the last episode. Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Pac-Man World Re-Pac. At the end of the last episode, we finished the first two levels of the space area, and now it is time to take on level 3-3, Gimme Space. So this is going to be the final level before we take on the boss stage, which is coming up very soon after this. First things first, immediately starting off in the level, we want to go ahead and hit that orange switch, which will activate a teleport, allowing us to grab the very first Pac letter, the P, which is actually pretty geniusly hidden, if I say so myself. Now it is time to continue on, but yeah, so this is actually going to be the very last level of the space area right before the boss stage. So I say, let's go ahead and finish this area right up. So yeah, we are pretty much progressing through this game fairly quickly. Actually a lot quicker than I initially imagined I was going to, so that's actually a plus. As you can see, the letter A is actually located right there. I mean, I didn't mean to fall all the way down there. I'm going to go ahead and avoid that slot token there because I don't really care too much about collecting all of those. Again, it's really just an additional attempt to play the slot machine game at the end of the level, so not really anything too important, especially compared to collecting all of like the Pac letters and all of the fruit. And yeah. So now we are ascending up in this direction. We have a lot more of those tilted platforms like we did in the last level, I believe. And of course, we have a lot of crazy butt bounces that we need to make in order to reach some of these collectibles that are kind of placed on a little bit of a higher location. So we need to make sure that we get on top of those. These guys right here are kind of annoying. These are the first enemies that actually are more defensive. They will throw up a shield, blocking you from throwing your Pac dots at them. So what you need to do, and I don't believe you can actually butt bounce on them, but yeah, basically those enemies, you have to essentially get behind them in order to attack them, or just wait for them to drop their shield, and then you can, of course I would fall off. Then you can attack them with the Pac dots, of course. But now we're going to go ahead and head over here to another one of my favorites. Man, I just keep falling off this thing. I don't know what is with me today. But this area over here, if I can actually stay on top of the dang platform, is another one of my favorite ghost areas. So as you can see, we have another one of those lights that will teleport us. As you can see, we have a power pellet that we picked up here, and we can now go ahead and munch on these ghosts that are circling around this large circular platform. And of course, the temporary platforms allow us to move pretty freely across this little area here. But I don't know, I just kind of like the way this area looks. It's like a giant circle shape in the middle of outer space, and of course we're able to use the power pellet to transform into Mega Pac-Man and kind of go crazy there, I guess, if you will. But now we're going to hit that button, and it's actually going to lower this platform, which, again, I kind of like the idea of being able to kind of raise and lower platforms by just hitting a switch. I don't know why, I just think that's so cool. But we're going to go ahead and take care of these guys before they have a chance to throw up their shields. And we are now traveling across more of the tilted platforms. And of course, those enemies that I don't really care too much about have reappeared in this level as well, so we want to make sure we butt bounce on top of them to avoid their little spinning laser attack. That way we avoid any sort of chance of death. But as you can see, we have already collected the second A, so we only have one more letter left, and I don't remember the letters being so easy to find in this area. Maybe my memory isn't as sharp as I remember it being, but I just remember the space area in particular being involved with a lot more backtracking. Maybe that's another area I'm confusing it with coming up a little bit later on. But yeah, I have to say this space area, with the exception of having to redo 3-1 because I screwed up and towards the end of the level and had to redo it, overall the space area has gone pretty smooth, and I wasn't anticipating that because I just remember having more of a hard time for some reason doing the space section. than I did most of the other sections. And there's another specific area coming up that I can definitely remember specifically having a lot of trouble on. It isn't the next area, but it's the area after that one. But I'm not going to talk about that too much right now because we're not there yet and we're still focusing on the space area. But you want to make sure you kind of explore every square inch of this section right here, because as you can see behind that little platform with the jump pad there, or the bounce pad, there are some fruits that are kind of hidden behind some walls. So you kind of have to, again, really make sure you're exploring every square inch of these areas in order to find, you know, your collectibles, especially if you're going for that 100% completion. Those bouncy bounce pads, you want to make sure you get behind them. As you can see, we found the last letter already, very nice. But behind those bounce pads are, of course, more additional collectibles. So you want to make sure you grab those. And it is time to munch on some more ghosts. So we were getting things done pretty smoothly here. We have a lot of ghosts to take care of. We have the maze door right there, but we don't quite have the Galaxian key for it. And there's another death. All right, so we want to go ahead and cross this platform and not fall off this time around. And it looks like we have, wow, the end of the level already. That was fast. Holy cow. Yeah, this is definitely an area I don't remember being as short as it is. All right, so actually, if we go back over this way, you want to actually jump on top of this platform, or I guess this little pathway of platforms, and then you jump on this purple ball. It'll actually float you up to these platforms where you will find the Galaxian key that will open up the maze for this level. So let's go ahead and take it on right now. I'm ready. I'm not going to fail this time. I know the one in the last level I failed miserably at and had to redo. This time around, I have a feeling we're not going to do that. So we're going to get it done on the first attempt. Not even going to take a single hit. I probably am, but I'm saying I'm not because it gives me confidence that I'm you know, it's not going to happen. But anyways, enough of me being weird. Another thing I do want to point out, and actually did not point out when I was talking about the differences between the original PlayStation version and this remastered version, is this maze section. In the original PlayStation version, you actually were able to continue on with the maze even if you were to get cornered and actually attacked by the ghosts. But instead of like immediately losing an extra life and having to restart and losing a life, you would actually only take like one hit of damage, if I remember correctly. So that's something that they did change that I'm not quite sure why they made it a little bit more difficult, but I guess the maze was probably too easy where they thought it made sense to kind of tone up the difficulty a little bit in the remastered version. Again, the mazes even in this version are very easy, so even though they made that little change, I don't really think it matters because again, it's pretty hard to die, even though I've done it like in every single maze, you know, so far, and I'm not really doing a good job of showing off how easy mode is. But it's okay because we completed level 3-3 and it is time to move on to the bonus stage. Alright, so as you can see, we have the same song and dance that we've done the last two levels, and this is the final time we will be taking on this bonus stage. We failed the first one, cleared the last one, so I'm hoping we're able to do a 2 out of 3 here. And be able to clear this stage. So go ahead and smash that button in and we will have some more pathways opened up for us, so that way we can collect all of our fruits. And one thing I don't think I pointed out, and again, this is kind of obvious, I don't really need to point out, but the slot tokens I don't think are necessary to finishing these bonus stages. You just have to collect all of the fruits. I believe it's always going to be a total of 19 fruits, so as long as you have your 19 fruits, you're pretty much good, and it looks like we did clear it, so very nice indeed. On to the slots. All right, so it looks like we are continuing to increase our high score, sitting at again below 400,000. I'd like to be closer to 400,000 by the end of the boss, but it is now time to take on the boss right now. So King Galaxian episode has been unlocked, and it is time that we take on King Galaxian himself. So yes, this is probably one of my favorite bosses of the game. And you'll kind of see why once we kind of get into it, after we kind of get through this little platforming section here. So right here, ba-boom, we are now in a spaceship. So we have the ability to fire a cannon by pressing the B button. Of course, we will still be able to collect fruit along the way, and that'll allow us to continuously increase our score as we are essentially turning things into a Space Invader type of section. And yeah, so we still get power pellets. So we can actually collect power pellets for additional points. Unfortunately, we do not turn into Mega Pac-Man. That would kind of be awkward knowing that we're in the, in a spaceship in the middle of space, in the air. So I'm not sure what, the point of being able to turn into Mega Pac-Man would do for us. But if we zap these bugs with the firing attack here, we can actually accrue quite a bit of points here by doing this, in addition to collecting all the fruit that are in our path here. You just want to be careful when you see these space rocks coming at you, because you want to make sure you avoid them. I think you will take damage if you do hit them. But they throw in a lot of like extra health for you in addition to the fruit. So for the most part, this section is fairly easy. And I haven't even talked about the actual boss fight yet. I'll kind of talk more once we get there. But it's probably one of the easier boss fights in my opinion, and probably, I have to say, probably my favorite. I don't know, there's a lot of boss fights in this game that I like, but this one probably is my all-time favorite. As you can see, we are now maneuvering over quite a large ship that's shooting out lasers from the top of it while still shooting these bugs. I don't know how they're able to survive up here in space. I guess they're called space bugs or something. I'm not sure what the name of these enemies are. The names of these enemies are officially, but I'm assuming they have the ability to breathe up here, since I guess we are able to as well. But yeah, so just want to avoid these lasers now. They're shooting out of the ship as we are continuing to shoot things here. But now we have finally reached the checkpoint, and it is time to take on the boss. Like Talkman is back to do his little nasty bidding once again. This guy just never knows when to give up. He's just like Gruntilda. He's going to pull that little lever, and it's going to activate King Galaxian. It's an ugly mofo right there. Alright, so this is King Galaxian. This boss fight is fairly simple. The main thing you want to avoid is this attack right here, where he will suck you up like he just did there, into his mouth, and you essentially just want to continuously hit the A button, and I wasn't at a good angle to escape it there. But the main objective here is you just want to continue to shoot out his 4 eyes. Once all 4 eyes are shot, he will go down, he will be done. And he will then periodically, I think it's after you shoot out one of his eyes, I think you can only shoot out one at a time, but once you have one of them completely shot out entirely, he will go into this additional phase where he will start firing his attack from his tail, and then you just want to continue to shoot at his tail until he goes back into this, this initial phase where he tries to suck you in again. So again, pretty simple. This is all he does. He will he will summon his other enemies. Those bug enemies will continue to attack us, as well as that laser when he goes into his tail phase. But it looks like we shot out both of his middle eyes, so he's looking even uglier now. He's got 2 eyes on the outside that are still intact, but he's got 2 on the inside that are damaged, and they just look awful, man. As you can see, those little purple lasers are being shot at us too. Those are from the bugs, so that can kind of get a little bit challenging to avoid, in addition to his other one. His other lasers that he's firing. So other than that, it's pretty simple. But again, you're given a lot of health during the fight, so it's pretty challenging to actually lose this. I would have to say you pretty much would have to be just kind of sitting still for a very long period of time in order to actually die and like lose to this guy. So I would be surprised if that happened, but again, you never know. But it looks like he's about halfway dead. Again, he only takes 4 hits because he has 4 eyes. He's got those little metal claw things, which actually look kind of cool. They're kind of creepy looking, but he's going to do this attack now where he'll swipe at us with them. Very easy to avoid, so whichever claw that he attacks you with, you just want to maneuver over to the opposite side of it. and kind of get more kind of closer to him when he does that, because he's going to swipe at you from like a long or from like a far-reaching distance. So being as far in that opposite corner, you know, diagonal from where he's swiping, is kind of the key to avoiding that attack. But now he's going to continue to fire from his tail. We now have the third eye down, and we have one more to go. And yeah, really you just want to kind of spam the B button to kind of continuously shoot at him. And even right there, like right here is a perfect opportunity where he's trying to suck us in, but we have a perfect shot at his eye. And it looks like the fourth and final eye has been taken care of, and King Galaxian is destroyed. So again, a very, very easy boss. And again, I love this boss specifically because we get to ride around this little space jet firing lasers at him. And it looks like I got an achievement for clearing the episode with no misses. I guess I've never done that before. So that's impressive. I'm proud of myself. All right. Yeah, still under 400,000. Again, not too big of a deal. I'm not necessarily, again, going for that specific score to 100% the game. In fact, I think I've already disqualified myself for missing some pack dots in some previous episodes, but it is now time to explore another section of the beach. As you can see, that gate opened up, meaning that we can actually travel north to another section. So this first level of the beach, we only had the first 3 sections to explore, which was Pirate Ship Island, the ruins area, and of course the space area, which we just completed. But now we can go through this gate. There's another gate actually right there, which holds the final levels. But this next gate will hold the next 2 areas. So this next area that we're going to be taking on is this area right here, and it is the Funhouse area. This area is my all-time favorite area of the game, but we are going to be taking this on in the next episode. As you see, there's a giant clown-shaped building there, and that's where the next boss will be located. But that's going to do it for now. In the next episode of Let's Play Pac-Man World Re-Pac, we are going to take on level 4-1, the very first level of the Funhouse area. I'm very excited. I hope you are as well. My favorite area of the game. So until then, I will see you later.